Very cute. It's a very
Yeah,
nice.
It's Malamud's only published play. It was in this collection, Idiots First. And he called it a scene of a play, which is kind of a pun because it could be either a scene which is a play or a scene out of a play, a scene of a play. And the only production of it that I know of to have ever happened was in a classroom at Cornell when I was a graduate student. Just before I finished Idiots First, as preparation for that, I staged this play in Cornell. And then years later, I was commissioned to write an opera and decided that this would make a very good piece. And Mrs. Malamud agreed. And so we did it, and we did it at the Jewish Arts Festival of Ireland, and we did it here. This was the official. I'm going to do one piece from it, which is a separate piece, really. And as I said, Malamud really stole this from Ansky's Divuk. Hansky probably stole it from somebody else. It's an old Hasidic tale, which really forms the backbone of this whole piece, the materialistic versus the idealistic. You know the story of the rabbi and the rich man? No? Well, I'll tell you. He was rich and a miser. The rabbi took him to the window and said, "Look, what do you see?" The rich man looked and he said, "What do I see? I see the street. What else should I see?" "What's in the street?" asked the rabbi. "What's in the street?" said the rich man. "People, they're walking in the street." Then the rabbi took him to a mirror in the room and he said, "What do you see now?" "What do I see now?" "What should I see now?" said the rich man. "Naturally, I see myself, of course." "Aha!" said the rabbi. "You will note in the window is glass, and there is also glass in the mirror, but the glass in the mirror has silver painted on the back. And once there's the silver, you stop seeing everybody else, and you only see yourself."
So amazing.
Moral of the story, QED. Yeah, that's actually how the opera begins. You heard a little bit of that music in the opening, and it ends also when Leon, the materialistic the sports salesman, has a date with daughter Adele, and the other suitor shows up and says, "Am I too early?" And the pantomime is such that they all end up turning to the father that is behind it all, and he looks up to God, and that's the music that you hear at the end.
And that's the end.
And that's the end of the opera, yeah. So do you have questions either about what I've said or about what's going to be happening? I'm going to be sending you links to what you can watch from today, and also what I'll urge you to watch each week. Next week, Sheldon Harnick is coming.
Great.
I already told Nancy, and I want to tell all the rest of you, there's a wonderful book called Wonder of Wonders that's all about the making of Fiddler on the Roof. Miracle of Miracles, exactly. Yeah, and it's all about the tradition of Shalom Aleichem that was transmogrified by blacklisted writers, actually, and then became Fiddler on the Roof. And it's an amazing book. I just finished reading it myself, and I'm going to have a lot of questions for Sheldon based on that book, and I recommend that you look at it. Or, look at the film if you haven't seen it lately. Lauren's going to sing Far From the Home I Love as part of the session next week, and I will do a piece that Sheldon sent me, which was cut from the show. And there are quite a few of them, actually. We'll be talking about those next week.
Great.
Okay, and so we'll take it week by week. I guess Thursdays will start later than Tuesdays, but I hope we won't start too late, at least on Tuesdays. On Thursday, in 2 weeks, Bruce Adolph is coming. He's going to be talking about the two operas that he was commissioned to write for the 92nd Street Y, The False Messiah and Michoil's the Wise. Do any of you know who Solomon Michoil's was? He was the founder of the Jewish theater in Moscow. He was considered one of the greatest actors of all time, and he also was the head of the joint anti-fascist committee. He came to America to raise millions for Russian war relief. He came with Yitzhak Pfeffer, the poet, and then both of them were murdered by Stalin in 48, 52 later. But they came in 1943. That's part of the opera that Bruce wrote. And unbeknownst to Bruce, Michoil's interpreter, while he was here, was a woman who's now 91 years old, that's my mother. And she will be joining with us to talk about the Michoils that she remembered. So I'm going to bring her together with Bruce, and it should be very exciting. We'll start talking, even before you guys get here. You'll just get here as soon as you can on Thursday. Okay?
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you all for making this possible and for participating. Much